Hi there, Tim Allen with the Massey Allen Group at Compass. This video is coming to you today with the biggest item out there for sellers or people considering to sell their home. Let's think of a theoretical scenario. And I'll start with a question. Could you sell your home in the same way in which you live? Sure. Would you be leaving money on the table? More than likely, yes. Unfortunately, it does cost a little bit of money to prep your home for sale and to generate the most income out of that sale. But if you had circumstances where, maybe your budget was limited or your time was limited and you needed the sale to occur quickly, what is the number one item we would encourage you to spend money on for that return on investment? Well, it's pre-sale inspections, and here's why. First reason is every buyer cares about them, okay? In comparison to other things that you can do to spend money on to prep your home for sale, staging, for example, is one of the popular ones. Most buyers care about staged homes, or I should reframe it. Most buyers like homes that are staged, or it appeals to their eye better. But I've certainly run into buyers who also prefer a vacant home. They like to see the blank canvas. They like to envision things on their own. The staging kind of clutters their eye, so to speak. Okay. Reason number two, you get the answers to the test before taking the test. It's kind of like your Miranda rights. Anything found during the buyer's due diligence or discovered by the buyer can and will be used against you in the negotiation. So by doing the inspections ahead of time, you get the answers to the test before taking the test, thereby, which is answer number three, or ties into answer number three, which is protecting your money in the negotiation. Okay. Reason number one, I've already alluded to it. If you decide not to do pre-sale inspections, when the buyer goes and does their inspections, you are negotiating from unforeseen circumstances. An analogy is, for whatever reason, you end up in a courtroom, you hire an attorney, the attorney just shows up, sits next to you, and has no clue why you're in the courtroom. They look at you and say, "So what's going on? Why are we here?" Completely unprepared for what's about to ensue. Similar matters there, okay? It's the best attempt to make you bulletproof in the negotiation. Any inspections that you do as a seller are provided up front in what's called a disclosure package. Okay, since the information is disclosed up front, it allows, or I should say, the theory there is the buyer is only going to be able to renegotiate with you on new information found. If you've already turned over every stone, there shouldn't be any new information found, thereby protecting your money. Okay. Also, inspections are generally visual only. I haven't met a seller yet that allows a prospective buyer that may or may not complete their transaction to say, "Yeah, go ahead and open up that wall." Okay, so when they're visual in nature, there's disclaimers all over inspections that there might be more damage than what was discovered by the owner. Good buyer's agents know that. So when they're negotiating with you, because we have the time, we have a contract, there's pressure, you're trying to move, you're thinking about the next house you're moving into, a good buyer's agent is going to use all that leverage to their advantage, and they're usually going to negotiate a multiple, 2x, 3x of whatever the information is found to protect their client in the event that when the work is actually done, they've negotiated the best deal they can for their buyer client. Okay. It also is a good risk management and or transaction management strategy to do pre-sale inspections, because it puts you in a position that says, "Hey, we've provided our seller disclosures, we paid for these inspections, here's our historical file on the property. This is everything that we know. All of our cards are on the table. We have nothing to hide." So what that allows is when a buyer writes you an offer, you've already done your due diligence prior to putting the house on the market. It allows the buyer to go and do their own due diligence before they're spending $1 million $2 million, $3 million, $5 million. Okay, that's good for the transaction. That prevents future lawsuits, which, the goal is to earn you the most money possible when you're a seller. That party could be quickly spoiled by a future lawsuit. Okay. Reason number 5 is it's become so commonplace in my local market that you might lose buyers and or offers by not providing the inspections. The theory there, or what we've experienced a couple of times, is buyers say, hey, I don't want to spend $1,000. I don't want to spend $2,000. I don't want to spend $3,000 just to find out information of why I don't want to buy the house. And then I'm backing out of the contract, and now I'm over here, interested in this next house where I might have to spend that money over and over again. And you could see, buyer writes an offer, gets the opportunity to inspect, and has spent, $1,000 here, $2,000 here. Why a buyer might not like that. Okay. Reason number 6 is you can't hope and or hide behind the property's flaws. And what I mean by that is you can't hope that the buyer is not going to inspect XYZ. Or in other words, I've heard sellers say, well, I don't want that information out there because it's going to be used against me. Well, if the buyer has the opportunity to inspect, which is good for the transaction, it's good risk management, you should allow that. Any of that information, as I suggested before, is going to be used against you later. So in a nutshell, you can't hide behind that information. It's better to have, every house has flaws. Even new construction has flaws. Okay, they're built by humans. So it's better to have that information out there on the table for your bottom line at the end of the day. Okay, last reason number 7 is, if you do discover issues in your own pre-sale inspections, you get to deal with those issues on your own time and your own dime. Okay, the time pressure is taken away. You get to choose your own contractors, what materials you want to use, because nobody knows your house is for sale yet. You're not controlled by the contract, or you're not controlled by a party that now wants to buy your house. Here's the idea. Most sellers, they're in the process of getting rid of the property. So if the buyer finds an issue, in a contract or in the middle of an escrow, you as a seller just want to get rid of the house. You want to use cheaper materials. You want to use an contractor. The buyer, they're buying it. They're investing in it. They're going to want to use the best materials, the best contractor. So now you're in a situation where you have somebody else telling you how to spend your money. Whereas if you do the pre-sale inspections, you get to deal with it on your own time and your own dime. But last, if you don't have the resources to deal with it before you go to market, so you don't have the time or you don't have the money, you can just offset the findings with the price. So again, number 1 investment, you might spend $1,000 to $3,000, maybe a little bit more depending on the size of the house. But would you spend $1,000 to $3,000 to save you $10,000 in the future, $30,000 in the future, $100,000 in the future? That's your biggest return on investment as a seller. Get those pre-sale inspections. I'm Tim Allen with the Massey Island Group at Compass. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Have a great day.